Mr. Goslow, and thank you very much for retrieving them. And we have his girlfriend here, Charr, which took some of the pictures. And this is a dynamic duo right now, guys. I'm gonna let you know right now. But his regular job is to play a piano. Look at his socks. His socks are stunning like keys. He has a piano CD out as well. It's called Waterfall. Y'all check that out. He got a Christmas CD out with the family. And he's working on Here He Comes CW right here at the studio. Yeah. But his girlfriend,
Charr Crail,
has a lot of good photography. She did the Bay Area Performance Association cover. She's done
Volume 1. Gotta get it. If you're looking at that CD right now, if you know what we're talking about, she's the one who did the cover and she did the photographs.
Right. If you want to check out some of her photography, where do we go, Charr?
It's charrcrail.com. CharrCrail.com.
Yes, and you tune in there and you will see. We have a lot of greeting cards, and they're really abstract, you know?
It's my artwork. What I like to do is actually I photograph people more than anything else. Editorially, I do entertainment work.
Yes.
I do a lot of portraiture. But in addition to that, I have sort of a crazy imagination, and I like to show that in my imagery as well.
I could see this stuff.
It's called She's an Artist.
It's intellectual, man. This stuff is really nice.
Thank you.
I mean, so when did you start doing your little career of photography? How did you start?
I started many years ago, actually, and I went to college and I joined the school newspaper, and I was taking photography classes. Sacramento City College in Sacramento, and just fell in love with it, but editorially. So I was a photojournalist for many years. Many years. I've been doing this for like 20 years now.
Wow, that is so. That's why it's so intellectual. I mean, these pictures are detailed.
Well, it is, but you know the way technology has occurred, you know, everything's digital. Some people have embraced digital, some haven't. I certainly did. It allowed me to actually express what's in my mind's eye in ways that I never could have done with straight film.
Right. Dude, what was the newspaper called?
The first newspaper I worked for was called the Elk Grove Citizen, and they published twice weekly, and I was their photography department. I shot everything. I shot football games and car accidents and fires and events and, you know, the crab feeds, you name it, and I was there.
So that's the first one. Now, there's a second one?
Oh yeah, I've been doing this for years. I worked for several papers, and the last one I worked for was the Sacramento Bee. I was a picture editor on the night desk. Right now, I've been a freelancer for years, and that for me that's what my life is really all about. Is being a freelancer, and I love working for all the different clients. I have a pretty deep client base. I've been published worldwide.
Yeah, that is cool. So you've been published worldwide. Where have you been published at, and where is your stuff at?
Well, you can see my stuff all over the place in all kinds of magazines and newspapers. I've been published in Dublin newspapers. I've been even in the World Weekly News, the National Enquirer, the Wall Street Journal, all over the place.
You've been in all these stuff?
Yeah, I've been on all these stuff. Thank you. Actually, you know, here's a really exciting thing that's happened for me recently.
Yes.
I have an equal interest in doing editorial work, and that's meaning covering people, places, and events.
Yes.
But the artistic side of me is really a significant part. And recently, last year actually, I'd contacted a company called iconshoes.com.
Nice.
And they loved my work, and they actually licensed an image. So you can find one of my images on a line of handbags. Handbags that, you know, it's international.
That we're looking at right now.
Yeah, it's just, it's remarkable. They picked one image and they put it on these leather bags that are so high-end and so beautiful. I'm really proud to be one of their artists.
Where do we get these bags at if you wanted to get them?
You could go to www.iconshoes.com.
And how many of these are out right now?
The line of bags itself of leather goods is 6. But they also just added a line of shoes, which is really cool. There's one.
They put these on shoes?
One pair of shoes.
Do you have those shoes on?
No, because they're sold out, and I can't even get a pair.
You need to get those shoes with his socks.
Oh, I know the piano. I bought him those piano socks.
And every time I'm in the studio, check this out. Check this out. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're nice though. How did you even get your stuff on to a bag? Like, you just contacted them and said, check it out?
I just contacted them, and I told them I wanted to know what it would take to show my work to them, and then they just went and looked at my website and really loved what they saw, and so that's what started the ball rolling. I just identified something that I wanted, and I just let them know I was available.
So what is your next move? Are you going to actually now go to T-shirts? Or?
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because I do have a tremendous interest in the mass market, any kind of mass market media, and so this greeting card line, I mean, it sounds, I don't know how to explain just saying a greeting card line. It's not that it's just a greeting card line. These are really significant, interesting images.
Yeah.
But I can see them on a global level.
Yeah.
That a lot of big companies would distribute them. So I'm just now sort of finishing up creating this line of cards that I'm going to ultimately try to distribute in a big way.
That'd be dope. Maybe a calendar.
Oh, calendar, T-shirts. Actually, what I started doing is printing the images out on fabric because there's just amazing things that you can do now with technology, and then embroidering them on. So basically, I'm creating like one of a kind haute couture.
Yeah, you know, maybe even have like those rub-on tattoos.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, I tell you, I got whole paper, you know, of your best work, and the rub-on tattoos or some, you know.
We could get those made. That sounds fun.
Are you think about even doing like a fashion show, your own clothing line or something?
Well, I thought about that in relationship to one of a kind art piece clothing. Yeah, I have thought about that.
Yeah.
And you know, this is honestly just one of the things that I love to do. I mean, you're all about music, you know, and I've been shooting concerts for years, and you know, big shows and small shows and club shows and arena shows, and that's also one of my passions. So I just love to create. As far as I'm concerned, anything I can point a camera at that's exciting to me, it just pulls my passion right out of me, and I can't stop.
That's why you guys are like the dynamic duo.
Oh, Rapera, yeah. So I started writing this piece. Teen Opera performed it. I wrote the scene, and it's about 15 minutes long. It's just performed this weekend at Teen Opera program in Los Altos. Yeah, they had me come up and take a bow. My scene was performed. It was a follow-up scene to the first. Rapera is the story of a world in which this young man travels to the gods because the Earth is in trouble. But the gods threaten to destroy the Earth if humans don't start working together.
You guys are both really creative. You guys are, you know, really dedicated to what you do, you know.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny, actually. The beginning of the year, I had intended for 2010, you know, to have tremendous self-expression. And then the January 2nd, I sat down at the computer, and 3 days later, and I swear, I barely got up from that computer. I had 9 new art. I just channeled this stuff. It was ready to come, and it did. Interviewing these guys, and then they were done, and they came out in the hall. I'm like, can I take some pictures? And next thing you know, we're doing a full-on photo shoot out there. We had so much fun. I got great pictures.
You anything besides photography?
For a living, that's what I do, photography.
That's dope. So he plays piano for a living, and you take pictures for a living.
That's right.
How great is that?
It's the best life.
That influenced you to do all this?
To do photography in general?
Yeah.
My father was my father was a reporter for a newspaper.
What paper?
A newspaper in North Carolina when I was a little kid. Honestly, I don't remember the name of it. He didn't always have a photographer to take pictures, so he started taking his own. And he would take me out on photo assignments, and I just, you know, I always remembered like the whole idea of documenting where you've been and what you see, what's happening in the world, because that's what he was doing.
Yes.
And I was always really inspired by that. And even as a teenager, although I didn't necessarily want to take pictures for fun, I still wanted to have pictures of my friends and people that I cared about and places that I lived, because I love the idea of having a memory to take with me. I guess I had a sense that it won't always be like this. And I wanted to document my life. And so I did, and I have a lot of pictures of my friends as a kid, and those photo booths where you could put $1 in and you get 4 poses. Oh my God, I lived in those things. It was so much fun. I dragged my friends to them. And so I just always had a sense of, you know, of being an artist anyway. But photography ended up being the medium that sort of grabbed me and took hold and just never let go.
So did you always want to be a photographer?
No, I wanted to be an artist. My dream, you know, when I was in high school, was actually to be a fabric designer, which would explain a great deal of why I tend to combine the two now.
It's connected.
I got a person. Not only that, but like I said, technology for me anyway, like cracked the world open. And
what is the most biggest technology for you that cracked it open? Like,
well, actually being able to create your own artwork on a computer, not have to depend upon, you know, chemicals and printing, and what, like Photoshop, which is, you know, the granddaddy of all the great, you know, programs for me anyway. Things that like happen in my mind's eye can happen now in front of me on a computer, and I can print it out, I can email it, I can upload it, I can blog it, I can show it to anybody on the other side of this earth, I can upload it to a website that'll print it out on fabric yardage for me, so that I can actually make clothes, make pillows, make those T-shirts I was telling you about, and I could sell that fabric if I wanted to, but yeah, actually now I can design and have my own fabric. Actually in these images, one of them, it's in the envelope somewhere. I made my own marbleized paper. I photographed it. I had it printed out as fabric, and I used that in one of my images for these greeting cards. And then even just like this little fractal program, I create these fractal imagery so I can put it inside of these other drawings that I did. So this isn't even photography; it's drawing. It's just that I'm able to take any piece of knowledge that I have of an artistic sense, and I can combine it all together.
Look, we're going to wrap it up. Give out your links, man.
CWiggz.com, Facebook, Chris Goslow, and I got MySpace, CWiggz Artist, and Chris Goslow.
Charr, let's get into your contacts.
Okay. Okay, I'm at www.charrcrail.com. It's CHARRCRAIL.com, or basically just Google me. A whole lot of stuff.
Yes, and most definitely we will.